The exchanging of vows is often just the start of a couple's wedding day celebrations. Wedding receptions have become as unique as the couples themselves. No matter what your style, though, Mackinaw Valley Vineyard can provide a beautiful backdrop so you and your guests can party till you drop. Welcome back.
Hey.
So if I could back up for a moment, because you were here a couple of days ago and we were talking about the venue of Mackinaw Valley Vineyards, and for the wedding, sometimes that's the first stop that a couple will make outside of getting the wedding dress, maybe.
Right, and that's important, because getting the venue picked out, once you get that date and that schedule, then everything else kind of flows into that and dovetails into that.
And how far in advance should they contact you?
You know, at least a year for most weddings is pretty normal. I've had people book weddings 3 years out, but that was because they were sometimes in professional schooling commitments and they knew they had this exact window where they were going to plan their wedding and had a long-term engagement. But typically it's about a year, and I would not, if you want certain vendors or certain places, even maybe 2 years out is not too far.
Okay.
Just because if you're very specific in your needs and your location, then you know there might be limits to what dates are still available, and that's always a challenge for us. And every year there always seems to be one date that 5 people want the same day. Well, you have one day, you know, you can only do one thing, so that makes it a little challenging. But we try to accommodate people as much as we can, but yeah, about a year out minimum.
Okay. So when it comes to the reception, what's popular right now? There's so many trends.
Oh, it changes every year. I mean, I think, we touched this earlier in the week, that it's a little bit simpler now. People just like to have fun. They want to, and I look at the picture there, they want to have a space to dance. They just want to get together with their friends and have a great time. People play games on like table games now.
Really?
Our Pavilion building has a wraparound patio that's L-shaped around it, and so we set up bags games out there sometimes for people, or they bring their own games and different things that they can play. So it's kind of soup to nuts of what people want. The crazy walking down the aisle dance and things like that. And when they introduce the bridal party, sometimes that gets a little funny with the with the DJ, the song they pick or something.
Well, and what's great is you have such a vast expanse of terrain in which to have the party.
And the Pavilion building's nice. Most of our weddings are between 150 to 200. We can seat up to 300 people in there. It's a neat building too, because it's built to be indoor outdoor, so 2 sides of it are glass panel doors, so if it's beautiful out, we have all the walls move up and they're out of the way, and you just are surrounded by the vineyard and the lake and all the views. But even if the weather's a little cooler, a little whatever, we can close those glass panel doors and you still have that outdoorsy lighting and feel to the place. It's really nice. It's a nice hybrid kind of a building.
That is fantastic. So if somebody's coming to you and they're maybe having a traditional church wedding, but they do want to have the reception at your space, how would they do that?
Just, again, just get in touch with us, email or call, and we'll get a meeting scheduled, tour things with them. I have a number of photographs. I can show different sizes and how we seat people, how we, decorated in the past. And the space itself is a big white interior space, and we have chandeliers in it and white lights and tooling up in the ceiling, but it's made to be very simple so people can bring their own flair into it. And I've had people do very elaborate decorating schemes, or very simple with just some runners on white, linen tablecloths and some baby's breath and mason jars, and then everything, crystals hanging from things and all kinds of fancy. So it's just what people want.
There's no perfection. It's just what works and what doesn't work for the couple.
I always tell the bride, it's your wedding day. Whatever you want, I will try to accommodate. Within reason, I should say. Sometimes people say something, and I go, well, let's just meet and we'll chat about it. And I think that's the main thing to just keep in mind with when you're working with wedding couples. I want to be very straightforward with people. If I can do something, I'll tell them. If something isn't going to work, or my experience has been we've tried it and it's a little off, I'll let them know. I don't want to see happen failure on their wedding day. If one of my funny stories I always tell people, I have a list of things we can and can't do, and a lot of it's health code or insurance code things, but I always tell people, if you want to know why you don't want an exploding confetti tube shot at you on the day of your wedding, at your reception, I can explain why you don't want that. So after 16 years, there's a lot of things. But
well, it sounds like a wonderful experience. I hope that this is the start of a beautiful wedding season for you and everybody out at the Vineyard and all of our couples watching. Thanks for being part of Bridal Week on Living Well. We'll be right back.